Stop scrolling. The internet just exploded over a scandal so wild, even reality TV couldn't script this. King Harris is at the center, and what happens next could destroy his entire family's reputation. You won't believe it. A tape, a jail, a scandal shaking one of hip-hop's biggest families. What King Harris did this time isn't just shocking, it's dangerous. Watch closely, because every second counts. Imagine being the son of a superstar, and suddenly, the world is laughing at your worst moment. King Harris's latest scandal has left his family scrambling. This story isn't just gossip, it's a disaster in real time. King Harris just made headlines again, but this time, it's bigger than any fight, diss track, or viral rant. A tape inside jail? A father's empire at risk? You need to see how it all unfolded. The internet is on fire, and King Harris is at the center of it all. From viral memes to shocking leaks, this scandal has no pause button, and you won't believe what happens next. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on tight, because what I'm about to share will either leave you laughing, shocked, or shaking your head in disbelief. The internet just got hit with a scandal so wild, so outrageous, that even the best reality TV writers couldn't have come up with it. At the center of it all, King Harris, the son of rapper T.I. known for stirring up chaos like it's his favorite pastime. King is now wrapped in a controversy so messy it makes every past celebrity meltdown look tame. And no, it's not about a fight, a diss track, or one of his infamous online rants. This time, the story revolves around something far more explosive, an alleged tape, rumored to have been recorded inside jail. A tape so damaging it threatens to shatter not only his own reputation, but also the image of his entire family. That raises the real question: what happens when a young man already branded as controversial finds himself in a situation that even his father's fame and influence can entangle? How does T.I., the rapper, mogul, and proud family man, react when his son's name becomes the headline of one of the most humiliating scandals hip-hop has witnessed in years? This isn't just another story about celebrity misbehavior. It's a high-stakes drama unfolding in real time, where family, reputation, and public perception collide in ways that even the most seasoned stars can't control. Drama has always seemed to follow King Harris like a shadow. From viral arguments and reckless behavior to Instagram rants and late-night headlines, his name frequently trends for reasons no parent would want for their child. Every few months, another incident reminds the world that King is living under a microscope, one framed not only by the press, but also by the expectations that come with being T.I.'s son. Every misstep is magnified, dissected, and broadcast across social media, making it nearly impossible for him to create an identity outside of his father's legendary reputation. But this time, the story feels different. This isn't just a minor viral clip, a social media outburst, or a headline about reckless behavior. This is something darker, heavier, more damaging, and far more public than anything the Harris family has encountered before. While previous controversies might have sparked gossip or temporary ridicule, this situation strikes at the very heart of the family's legacy. It's a moment that threatens not only King's image, but also the carefully built public persona of T.I., the family man and entrepreneur who has spent decades cultivating respect, loyalty, and influence in both music and business. The alleged jailhouse tape, rumored to show King in a compromising situation, represents a scenario no amount of spin could easily fix. While the details remain clouded with speculation, the impact is immediate. Social media erupts with every new whisper, and the internet, as always, takes the lead in shaping the narrative. Memes are created, jokes are made, and public opinion solidifies before the facts are even verified. Suddenly, the Harris family is caught between defending their son, managing their brand, and attempting to protect a father's reputation from slipping into public humiliation. King's previous attempts at carving out his own identity, striving for street credibility, seeking respect outside of his father's shadow, and occasionally lashing out at critics, have only heightened the stakes. Each incident in the past, from viral confrontations to public rants, set the stage for the intense scrutiny he now faces. The difference here is that the situation has transcended mere celebrity misbehavior. This is now a scandal with a tangible and humiliating dimension, one that could follow him for years and redefine how the public perceives not only him, but his entire family. For T.I., the emotional and professional stakes are enormous. He has always projected an image of control, strength, and family unity, a brand that extends beyond music into business ventures, endorsements, and public influence. The idea that his son could be embroiled in a scandal of this magnitude challenges everything he has built. It forces him to navigate uncharted territory, balancing his role as a father, his responsibilities as a public figure, and his position as a businessman who must consider the long-term consequences of the family's exposure to ridicule and shame. And yet, there's a human story at the center of all this chaos. Behind the headlines and viral posts is a father watching his son stumble in a very public way, a son struggling to define himself in a world that constantly judges him, and a family caught between loyalty and public opinion. The scandal exposes vulnerabilities that the Harris family has rarely had to confront so openly, offering a stark reminder that fame can magnify mistakes, amplify shame, and make private struggles painfully public. In short, what we're witnessing isn't just the missteps of a young man or the challenges of a celebrity family. It's a collision of legacy, identity, and public scrutiny, a test of resilience for both King Harris and T.I. The world is watching, opinions are forming, and the consequences are real. And as this story continues to unfold, one question lingers above all: can the Harris family withstand the weight of this scandal, or will it forever alter the narrative of one of hip-hop's most influential dynasties? The internet wasted no time turning the story into a spectacle. Late-night comedians cracked jokes. TikTok creators reenacted their own versions of the scandal. Gossip sites treated it like a modern-day Kardashian tape moment, but without the fame and fortune that usually follows. This time, the result is shame, ridicule, and a desperate attempt by T.I. to protect what's left of his family's image. King's struggle has always been about identity. Growing up in wealth, raised in the spotlight, and constantly compared to his father, he's long wanted respect from the streets, from fans, from anyone willing to listen. Yet most of his efforts came across as clout-chasing. From viral clips of him threatening waiters to interviews where he claimed he was built for struggle, despite his privileged upbringing, the internet has never let him forget. And now, this alleged tape has become the ultimate symbol of his missteps. Here's the brutal reality. Even if the tape doesn't exist, the damage is done. The memes are out, the hashtags are trending, and the jokes are endless. Once the internet has labeled you, there's no undoing it. King Harris has become the scandal itself. Social media lit up immediately. Twitter filled with jokes. One viral post read, "T.I. wanted a king, but the internet crowned him something else." Another mocked, "From family hustle to family humiliation." Instagram reels, TikTok skits, parody songs, content poured out within hours. And when the internet decides to roast someone, there's no safe corner to hide. But underneath the jokes lies something deeper: the crumbling of the Harris family brand. For years, T.I. built his name not just as a rapper, but as a father figure. He showcased his wife Tiny and their kids on TV, presenting a legacy of family unity and strength. Now that image is unraveling at the hands of his own son. Behind the scenes, the chaos is likely worse. Insiders whisper that T.I. has been calling in favors, threatening lawsuits, even reaching out to jail officials to track down the source of the rumor. But once a story goes viral, it's no longer yours to control. The internet owns it. And the so-called sources? They only add fuel to the fire. One alleged guard claimed the tape was already circulating among inmates before leaking. Another family insider insisted T.I. was blindsided. Whether these accounts are real doesn't matter. The internet doesn't wait for facts. It runs with the most shocking version of the story. The cruel irony? King Harris has always chased street credibility. He wanted to be seen as tough, untouchable, more than just T.I.'s son. But nothing destroys a tough image faster than being mocked by the very people you wanted respect from. Whether the tape exists or not, the streets now have endless material to use against him. Fans are split. Some defend him, calling the rumors cruel lies meant to ruin a young man's life. Others shrug, saying he brought it on himself. And then there are the trolls, flooding the internet with prison memes, parody posters, and savage edits. In today's world, memes hit harder than facts, and once they spread, there's no erasing them. The fallout stretches beyond King himself. Every business tied to T.I. now feels the ripple effect. Brands don't want scandal. Investors don't want mess. Deals get delayed, partnerships fall apart, and the Harris family name carries a stain that no press release can wash away. As for King, he might act like he doesn't care. Reports say he's brushing it off, claiming people have always hated on him. But let's be honest, beneath the surface, this one cuts deeper. This isn't just bad PR. This is about identity, pride, and reputation, things that hit harder in hip-hop than any diss track ever could. So the question remains, how does this end? Does the tape eventually surface, confirming every rumor? Or does it remain a ghost story, haunting King Harris forever? And perhaps the bigger question, can T.I., the rapper, the mogul, the father, rebuild the family image he worked so hard to create? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, King Harris is no longer just a name in headlines, he is the headline. T.I. built his life on music, business, and family, an empire crafted over decades. But now, that legacy is under fire, not from rivals or the industry, but from within his own household. His son, King Harris, has become the center of a storm that just won't let up. And if you think the drama has already hit its peak, think again. The so-called receipts are still rolling in, and the circus is only getting wilder. What started as whispers and a few blurry screenshots quickly snowballed into a frenzy. Anonymous recordings, grainy images, and alleged messages spread like wildfire across blogs, gossip channels, and Twitter threads. Every post came loaded with not just rumors, but cruel commentary aimed at King and his entire family. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a scandal. It became an attack on the Harris legacy itself. T.I., once celebrated as the King of the South, now found himself trending for all the wrong reasons. Headlines screamed about the fall of his empire. Podcasters and late-night hosts turned his family's pain into punchlines. But behind the sarcasm, there was a man unraveling. Insiders claimed he wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping, and had canceled business meetings just to deal with the fallout. For the first time, T.I. looked powerless. Tiny, King's mother, faced her own wave of criticism. People accused her of being too lenient, of spoiling King into the reckless young man he had become. Friends revealed she broke down in tears during a private gathering, begging people to stop dragging her son. But the internet has no pause button. For every defender, there were 10 trolls ready with memes, edited videos, and jokes that cut deeper than any headline. King himself didn't help matters. Instead of clarifying the situation, he went live on Instagram, cussing out bloggers, taunting haters, and daring people to confront him. His bravado only poured gasoline on the fire. Screenshots of alleged DMs with supposed jail buddies surfaced, fueling the idea that the rumors were true. Whether real or fake didn't matter. Once the internet had a story, it ran with it. Then came a shift. T.I. finally broke his silence. But this wasn't the confident, smooth-talking rapper the public knew. His voice cracked as he admitted he loved his son but felt broken by the scandal. He begged the public to stop attacking his family, calling the harassment cruel beyond measure. For a moment, people saw his pain, but sympathy didn't last. Critics mocked his tears, asking why he was crying if the tape wasn't real. Others accused him of hiding behind emotion instead of accountability. The narrative shifted once again. Suddenly, it wasn't just about King's rumored tape, it was about T.I.'s role as a father. Had he failed his son? Did fame and privilege blind him to King's reckless behavior? These questions filled YouTube panels, Twitter spaces, and comment sections across the internet. Meanwhile, the consequences hit harder. A rumored streaming deal went cold. Radio stations quietly cut back on T.I.'s older tracks. Even brands tied to his Hustle Gang merch reportedly reconsidered their partnerships. The scandal wasn't just gossip anymore, it was money slipping away. And just when people thought the chaos couldn't get worse, another twist dropped. A new clip began circulating, this time clearer, more detailed, and more damning. The video allegedly showed King in jail with another inmate, in a moment many claimed looked too close for comfort. Within hours, hashtags like #KingHarrisTape and #TIPShattered dominated the internet. TikTokers reenacted it. YouTubers broke it down frame by frame. To the world, this wasn't gossip anymore, it was spectacle. The Harris household went silent. T.I. stayed off social media. Tiny disappeared. And King? He laughed it off, taunting critics and refusing to explain. His arrogance only deepened the backlash. Industry insiders whispered that T.I. was finished. Collaborators stopped answering calls. No brand wanted to be tied to a family drowning in sexual scandal rumors. Finally, in a late-night Instagram live, T.I. broke down completely. The King of the South looked fragile, his voice shaking as he pleaded for compassion. "You don't know what it's like," he said, "to watch your child become a target. To see lies mixed with truth and feel powerless." It was raw, vulnerable, human. But the internet wasn't moved. Instead of sympathy, T.I. faced more ridicule. "If it's fake, why he crying?" one comment read. Others accused him of deflecting blame. The very next day, King went live again, doubling down, cursing out bloggers, challenging haters, and insisting he didn't care if the whole world watched. And that's when the chilling truth set in. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. It had turned into a war. A war between truth and perception. Between family loyalty and public humiliation. Between an empire built over decades and the chaos of one reckless son. And the question still hangs in the air: can T.I. protect his empire, or will the Harris legacy collapse under the weight of King's chaos? But let's be honest, the majority leaned toward mockery, and the Harris family sank deeper into public humiliation. Then came the whispers about where the tape even came from. Some claimed it wasn't an accident at all, but a deliberate leak from people inside the jail system. Others swore rival players in the music industry set it up to finally take T.I. down. One theory even suggested it was revenge for old feuds T.I. sparked during his prime. None of it was confirmed, but the mystery only fueled the scandal. Because in the world of fame, people rarely believe anything leaks without purpose. Tiny, King's mother, eventually broke her silence. In a tearful Instagram post, she begged the world to remember that King was still her child. No matter what people believed, she said, no one deserved to have their lowest moments broadcast to millions. Her pain was raw, but the internet didn't spare her. Trolls twisted her post into memes, mocking her for being blind and defensive. The Harris family couldn't catch a break. King, on the other hand, leaned further into the chaos. He posted cryptic stories, called out fake friends, and even hinted that he had tapes on other celebrities. If y'all want to play, I got receipts too. That one line sent the internet spiraling. Was he bluffing, or did he actually have dirt on other names? No one knew, but the threat alone kept his scandal burning hot. Behind the scenes, insiders painted a darker picture. Arguments reportedly exploded inside the Harris mansion. T.I. accused King of tearing down everything he built. King fired back, calling his father a hypocrite. Tiny begged them to stop, but the damage was already spilling into public view. Then came the chilling talk of lawsuits. Some claimed people in the tape were ready to take legal action. Others suggested T.I. was preparing to sue blogs for defamation. But nothing official ever landed. Just more whispers, more speculation, more chaos. And where facts were missing, the internet filled the gaps with fakes, doctored screenshots, fake DMs, even fabricated statements. Truth and lies became indistinguishable, and the scandal refused to die. The fallout was brutal. Business partners backed away. Industry peers avoided the Harris name. Fans who once admired T.I. now laughed at his downfall. The man who once rapped about loyalty and family now looked like a broken father trying to hold together what was left of his empire. And King? He embraced the villain role. He taunted his critics, posting captions like, "Y'all mad, but still watching." To the world, he looked untouchable, feeding off the attention. But those close to him told a different story of sleepless nights, anger outbursts, and a young man drowning under the weight of infamy. His laughter online was a mask. Behind it was pain. For T.I., that was the hardest truth to swallow. No matter how tough King acted, he was still breaking inside. But the internet didn't care about nuance. To them, King Harris was entertainment, and T.I. was collateral damage. This wasn't about truth anymore. It was about clicks, views, and clout. Even when the storm should have died down, it didn't. New friends of King popped up online, claiming to confirm stories and dropping their own so-called receipts. Each rumor stretched the scandal's life, ensuring the Harris name stayed buried in humiliation. And just when it seemed like the world had seen it all, another twist loomed on the horizon. Something darker. Something that wouldn't just test King's arrogance or T.I.'s patience, but would threaten the very foundation of the Harris family legacy. Because this story isn't over. Not even close. King Harris's name is burned into the internet's memory, tied to a scandal that refuses to fade. A tape from inside jail, a father's heartbreak, and a family empire on the edge of collapse. So here's the question: is this the price of fame or the cost of arrogance? Is King Harris just a reckless villain who played too close to the fire, or another young man caught in a world where every rumor turns viral? And can T.I. ever rebuild what's left of his legacy? History is being written in real time, and the world is watching.